Hello, it's World Pokemon Federation, Week 7 PRs. I'm Crossbow, you know me. Uh, yeah, uh, Week 7 PRs, we could do them early because I want to talk about the playoff picture at the end. If I don't talk about the playoff picture, it's because I forgot. There's a high chance that happens. But hopefully I don't because it's actually a really interesting playoff picture. Um, but yeah, let's get right into PRs. We begin number 16 with Arc. He has one win on the season. He was number 16 last week. Unfortunately, this week he had to play Lars, who is the number one team in the league and number one team on my PRs. So there's only so much, only so much to be done. At this point, he is out of the playoff race. There's no chance, unless he won this game. Like he would have to win this game and win like sizably, and he would have to like also get a shit ton of help. At this point, he kind of just said, "Hey, we're not realistically in the playoff race." He would have to win out, and it just means like if he had taken this game seriously, he would have had to beat Lars, which is just one person's done that. And I think it was like Shadow Stitch or something. No, it was I think it was Shadow Stitch. I don't remember. But yeah, most of the scene was a meme. It wasn't exactly me. It was just like semi-serious, you know. It was like he had like band. I think it was Band and Landorus. I don't remember the sets necessarily. It was my fan loud. I don't think so, but I just need my fan. So, but yeah, it was Specs Vaporeon. It was okay. Well, maybe it was just a meme. It was Custap Raging Bolt, Custap Executor, Custap Regirock, Banded, Landorus, and the Victory Bell. I think was just wait, what was it? I don't remember what it was. Might have been like a. It wasn't band. It wasn't a boosting item. I don't believe it was SD. Wait, was it physical or special? I believe it was. I don't actually remember. I don't remember his Victory Bell, but yeah, I mean this match was just mostly a meme. Ironically enough, his Executor set was like pretty damn good here. It was SD, Harvest, Custap Berry, with Earthquake and Terra Fire, Terra Blast. Do you look at his team? It beats Gouging Fire, Meowscarada, Walking Awake with Chips, Garm, Florigus, Ditto, Torkoal, Slitherwing, Rotom, Rhydon Arbok. Like it literally beats every Pokemon except a Terra Rhydon. That's the only thing it cannot beat is Terra Rhydon. If it gets its Custap berries, like it has to harvest them obviously, and it has to be able to endure them, and has to be able to like it needs like a little bit, but like it's very good here. Um, so yeah, it's like ironically a win con here. The entire team basically just said, "Hey, Lars is a Sun team. He's probably gonna bring the Sun, so I don't have to," which is a fine way to go about it. I mean, his Sun's better than your Sun, so I mean he says that too. It's basically the same thing. It's just a better Sun team inherently, which I mean is what it is. He got Gouging Fire, Walking Wake, and you got Great Tusk, Raising Bolt. Good Pokemon, just like you know, it's Gouging Fire, Walking Wake. Hey, Great Tusk is good. Raging Bolt's good. It's just, uh, it's just not as good. Especially in the matchup, it's just not as good. Though to be fair, Vaporeon, like I feel like his matchup wasn't awful. He has Regirock for Gouging Fire. He has Vaporeon for Walking Wake. His Executor is pretty decent. His Victor Bell is pretty decent. Landorus is his so it was Specs Vaporeon. I already went with that. Bandit Landorus, Custap shit. And then Regirock was also Custap, but it was Gravity, Zap Cannon, Endure, Explosion. It didn't work, but it was a pretty damn cool idea. It almost worked, because he almost went hard Meowscarada on Regirock, but I think he got scared of a body press. So he just went hard Rotom instead and got Zap Cannon. So then it just did nothing, obviously, because he can't do anything to it. But yeah, it was mostly just a meme team. It didn't work. The only thing I really say is that I didn't loop it. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't loop the music. But yeah. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like it was mostly a meme game, so I'm not gonna take it too seriously. But he did terror his victory bell. If he had like terrored his executor instead, he had a chance. But then again, he needs pretty good harvest luck. So I mean, this it's like you had a different way to go about it. You didn't. It's whatever. Next, we have the only other coach that now wait no is still in the playoff race. Uh, at this point, 6 losses definitely has Razor out or sorry not Razor Arc out. Uh, but Arc is the only one out. Technically, Soul Blaze can still make the playoffs. He has to win out and get some differential, but we'll get into that at the end. We're gonna do that at the end of the video, and it will contain spoilers because I have to go a week ahead. But whatever. Next we get Soul Blaze. Yeah, I mean Soul Blaze played Will. That's not gonna be easy. It's crazy because the number 16 guy played the number 1 guy, and then our number 15 guy played the number 2 guy. Like in terms of standings. So insane, wild. But yeah, he just got completely outclassed. Soul Blaze needed this win to have a good shot. Because, I mean, the difference between 3 and 4 and 2 and 5 at this point is quite large. But yeah, he brought AV Infernape. It was Scarf Rotom, Scarf Kilowattrel. It was Wochin was just like lefty shenanigans. Terra Poison. Mandibuzz was Knock, Brave Bird, Toxic Roost, and Drill I think was just what was the item? It was Aqua Berry for Ogerpon and Terrafire Comfey. Prep was okay. I thought the AV Infernape was pretty dumb because I thought it literally did nothing. It quite literally did nothing. But like I think it was off. I think a lot of it was for Glamora, and also it just kind of helps with Comfey. And it makes Ice Beam easier to switch into. Ice Beam / Freeze Dry. Which, I mean, all of that I get. But Gamora, Gamora you're not really weak to. You have Drill. You have Terra Poison, Wochin. Scarf Kilowattrel hits it for a good chunk with Thunderbolt. Obviously, Rotom just Hydro Pumps it. They're like not really that weak to Glamora. Comfey, that's not gonna. I mean, it beats it, yeah, but you have Aqua Drill. You have Terra Poison Wochin. Like Terra Poison Wochin was your best way, and you have Toxic Mandibuzz. Like you should be able to beat Comfey. And then Iron Bundle, it's valid. Like you have no Freeze Dry switch if Bundle comes in and it's Specs, and it was Specs. So, like really tough situation. I didn't go over Arc's opponents' sets, but like, who cares? It's just a meme game for the most part. But yeah, Soul Blaze, his team was fine. His team's really bundle weak. Like there's just no freeze dry switching, which I assume is why he was AV Infernape. It just like Pump is also free versus the team that he brought if Wochin Terras, so that's like kind of the other issue. But yeah, lead preview is I think he leads Infernape as Will just leads Dragonite. It's Banded Dragonite. But obviously, Soul Blaze doesn't know that, so he U-turns hard into Rotom, scared of a Dragon Dance. And Rotom dies to an Outrage immediately. Or no, it wasn't lead Dragonite. It was lead, it was Infernape on Iron Bundle, I believe. But obviously the bundle's scared of Scarf. So, it switches out hard into Dragonite on Vacuum Wave. And then Ape U-turns out into Rotom, and it dies in 1 to Outrage. So, yeah. I mean, it's Banded Dragonite versus a team with no Fairy type. There's also no Steel type. Drill does not count. I mean, it counts, but it takes like 80% from Banded Outrage. The only switch-in would have been, like, it breaks through Hippo, it breaks through Wochin, it breaks through Drill. And the only switch-in, I imagine, it breaks through Mandibuzz. The only switch in I imagine would be the Houndstone if it's like defensive fluffy. But like, and that's almost good here. It's almost good. Except Ogerpon just Ivy Cudgels and ignores, on top of it, fluffy fire type moves. It has Mold Breaker, so it doesn't actually check Ogerpon at all. So it's like kind of pointless. Because at that point you're here for only Sizz and yeah, Sizz and I guess Dragonite. Which is fine, but it's not enough. So yeah, Rotom dies immediately, and that's your best check to bundle because it can come in on a pump and then Volt Switch kill it. So yeah, that's already bad enough because now you have no pump switching. Drill comes in to click Swords Dance as it takes fucking like 80% from Outrage. It's able to kill it with a Rock Blast though. So then the bundle, I believe, just comes in, or maybe, yeah, no, it's definitely just bundle. And bundle, because bundle's free. And it just clicks, I think it just clicks Ice Beam. I don't think it clicks a Water move, and I think it goes hard in Fernape. I don't really remember. But I'm pretty sure that's what happens. I'm pretty sure he just goes hard in Fernape as the bundle clicks Ice Beam. Or Freeze Dry or whatever. It's definitely just Ice Beam. So Fernape's able to then get a U-turn into Comfey, and it's able to get in. I think he just goes Wo-Chin. No. He goes Comfey. Sorry, he goes Comfey on Dragonite after the Dragonite dies and kills with Terra Fire, and then I think what comes in. Is it? It's not Wo-Chin. I think he goes Mandibuzz first to try to Toxic, and then Sizz comes in. Yeah, that's what happens. He tries to Toxic Comfey, and Sizz comes in, so then Sizz U-turns out as the Infernape comes in. And the Infernape just gives him... No, that's late game. I think, yeah, he just goes... I think he just goes Wo-Chin on the Comfey after it kills Drill and clicks Leech Seed as it ends Terras. He just goes hard Ogerpon. And then Ogerpon switches back out into Sizz on the Terra Blast. And then he quits playing this game, so he U-turns back into Ogerpon, but at that point he just clicks Cudgel to try to weaken the Wo-Chin. It gets a crit, but that crit really just doesn't matter. It's in range of everything with anyway. It's Life Orb Comfey, so either way it's in range. It's in range of Bundle. Like, either way, Bundle's gonna sweep you. But anyway, he really complains about the luck in this game, even though it was, like, very it just didn't matter. Like, none of the luck mattered, except maybe the crit mattered. But there's no way you're getting your HP back. You're still gonna be at, like, 25-30%. Which is better than the 6% you were, or like this 8% you were at, but like, you still died a bundle, and that's what matters, because you're gonna get swept by bundle. But yeah, Wo-Chin is able to kill the Ogerpon with Terra Blast twice, but then bundle comes in, clicks Ice Beam. That's sacked, and then I think just Infernape comes in, because at this point you have to assume he specs. I don't think he knows, but maybe he did know. I'm not sure. But yeah. Wait, what comes in? I don't think it's that. A bundle comes in to kill Wo-Chin, and then I think he just goes... Maybe he just go kill Wattrel then. Oh yeah, he does go kill Wattrel. He goes kill a Wattrel, and he clicks Hurricane on the Scizor. He misses, which really sucks. But it also didn't matter. Because he goes for Hurricane again, and he hits it as Scizor knocks. And then he goes for Air Slash. He does flinch, and then kills it with Hurricane after. So the issue is Hurricane did, I think, 42%. Obviously, that means it doesn't do it KO. So unless you get a Confusion, and he hits himself, then it doesn't matter, because you would have been the exact same situation you ended up as in as it knocked. So, yeah, it didn't change anything. It was really just as simple as that. It didn't change anything. You still would have taken a knock, and at this point, you just lose the Iron Bundle. Uh, yeah, Soul Blaze just didn't play this game very well. I don't think his prep was amazing. I don't think his play was amazing. But I also don't think I don't think this is like favored in his favor at all. I think Wolchin was a good bring. Ape, I just think was a useless set. Uh, I think Scarf. Well, not Scarf, because you already have double Scarf at this point. Um, but like Life Orb probably just would have been better. Stone Edge, Vacuum Wave, uh, filler shit. Like I don't know. I think just a mixed Life Orb set was probably better. You would have done a shit ton to bundle. Like you would have almost one shot it, which means just like he didn't bring any hazards. He didn't bring anything to punish bundle for not being boots. Like this team was always gonna get swept by bundle. I'm pretty certain once you sacked Rotom, because Kilowattrel is a good answer. I'm not gonna say it's not. The issue with Kilowattrel is that it cannot come in for free ever. It dies to Ice Beam, it dies to Freeze Dry, it dies to Hydro Pump, it dies to Surf, it dies to everything. So you still have to sack something else to get in Kilowattrel. So no matter what, you're going to lose the bundle. So I just really don't think the minor luck that Will did get mattered in the slightest. So yeah, and now he moves to 2-5. He's not out of playoffs at all, but he's got to win out and win big. Next, we have My Lord Chris, who is 4-3, except he is the 14th placed PR guy. So the issue with My Lord Chris is that he's taken over and he has not won a game since. He's 0-2. In his last two, he played me and he played Dashing Sceptile, and he didn't really play these games too well. He played Dashing Sceptile this game, or early. Early on he played very well. This is Dashing Sceptile's first game with his new team. I think My Lord Chris played this game, like early game, extremely well. He brought it was Expert Belt Darkrai. It was Sub Bulk Up Urshifu, just Life Orb Deoxys. Probopass was Magnet-Pull, Terra Fight. Rotom, I'm not 100% certain, but I know it was Overheat. I know it was Boots. That's all I know. And Cincino was just Protective Pads, actually, to prevent Helmet / Rocky Rough Skin from Chomp, Helmet from Alomomola, and this is really the only things it would be. Potentially Helmet, I guess Tinkaton too. Really the only things it was preventing, but like it's good. So yeah, he played a really, really good early game. He just leads Probopass on Torn. Sceptile brought Garchomp, he brought Torn, he brought Aloe, Low Kicks, Tink, and Electros. So Probopass is able to get a Volt Switch off immediately on Torn as it Terras. Torn just taunts, so it doesn't take any damage. It Volt Switches out hard into... I just wrote him at that point. It clicks Wisp as the Torn goes for Knock, which is good. Yeah, so that's obviously an amazing early on. The Rotom goes for Volt Switch on the Torn, then, and it just stays in. The Torn just stays in because he's scared of. I think he just no. I think then he goes. No, he stays in. He stays in. Maybe he doesn't go. Does he go Darkrai? I think he goes Darkrai. No, he goes Darkrai, not Rotom. He goes Darkrai. That Rotom interaction happens later. He goes Darkrai first, and just clicks Ice Beam. Does does fine damage to Tinkaton. No, I think he goes Rotom. Either way, he gets into a situation where Torn is in on a Rotom, and Rotom clicks Volt Switch on Torn. And Sceptile never goes hard Garchomp on the Rotom because he goes no. I was right. He wisped the Torn, and then he goes for Pain Split as the Garchomp comes in. He gets a little bit of chip off into that, and then he goes hard into Probopass at this point because Probopass is just it's terrified. It's not gonna take anything. Um. So yeah, then Probopass comes in on I think it just takes does it just take Scale Shot or does it take like Rock Slide or something. I forget what Garchomp went for there. I think it just went for. It might have gone for. Nah, I don't think it went for SD. It just attacks and it takes like no damage. Probopass takes no damage. I believe that's what happened for sure. It takes damage, or it gets the rocks up. I think no. Wait, maybe Chomp goes for rocks. No. Tink's rocks. So I think Garchomp just attacks into Probopass. And then the Probopass. No, it just goes for. What does it do? How does this interaction play out? Because it's very important. Because either way, he ends up getting Probopass in on Tinkaton. It traps Tinkaton, and now Rotom on Torn. He never goes hard Chomp, which means he Volt Switches on Torn and gets in Darkrai every time. And with no Tinkaton, Darkrai is completely free into the team at this point. He Dark Pulses on the Torn because it kills, and the Electros comes in, gets 2 KO'd. Then after that, he just goes into low kicks, but Probopass comes back in, and Probopass clicks Volt Switch again on Torn, and he gets him back in Darkrai. So then Darkrai is able to kill Torn, and so now he's up 6-3. He's up 6-3 with Probopass at about 40-50%. Rotom is knocked and is sitting at like 40%. And Darkrai is taking like 2 or 3 turns of rocks at this point, because Tink got rocks up. But he's killed Tink, he's killed Electros, and he's killed Torn. Garchomp has taken a wee bit of damage. Yeah, Garchomp's taking a little bit of damage, but and low kicks his boots, so it's at full, and then Olive hasn't came in yet. So yeah, like you're in a great position. But then after that, Darkrai comes in after it kills Torn. And low kicks just clicks a first impression. And at this point, Probopass is weakened. It's the physically defensive wall, but it can only take so much. It's Terra Bug, so it does a shit ton with first impression. And first impression into U-turn kills Probopass. It's first impression into knockoff because he wants to keep the low kicks in. No, it's first impression into U-turn, and he kills the Probopass. Then he's able to get in. I think just at that point he goes Garchomp. Or does he go Aloe? No, he goes Aloe. As the... No, that's not right. No. I know what happens. He sacks Probopass, but he has nothing to kill those low kicks in one hit. He opts not to go Urshifu, which I don't know if it one-shot with Surging Strikes, but at that point, it's fine. The issue is there's an Alomomola around, and I know he's trying to save his Urshifu for later game. The issue is you're up at this point. You're up 5-3 with all the momentum in the world. Hard Urshifu was perfectly fine, and honestly, you could just click bulk up. Just click bulk up. I wish it was SD and not bulk up. I will say that. I think it would have 1v1 Alomomola way better. Like I understand bulk up, but I just would have been SD. I think if you're sub. But instead he goes Cincino and clicks U-turn to try to get the damage off because now Tail Slap. I think he predicted a switch into Alomomola, but either way Tail Slap didn't kill, so he actually needed that U-turn damage, and he attacks out Rotom. And then I believe Darkrai comes in. Oh, no, Darkrai doesn't come in. No, Darkrai doesn't come in. Wait, does it come in? Yeah, Darkrai just Urshifu comes in. And he subs as the Alomomola comes in. I believe. But the issue with that is if you were just gonna go Urshifu on it after anyway and not go Cincino, you should have just gone Urshifu last time. Because there's no reason to sack off. Like, there's no reason to go Cincino and take rocks, U-turn into Rotom, die, and then still go Urshifu just for like 30% U-turn. It's not even 30%. It's like, it's about 30%. Like, that damage doesn't matter, ultimately. It's okay damage, because I guess it does put it in Cincino and Darkrai range now, but it doesn't work. Because Urshifu comes in, tries to set up on Alomomola. Alomomola is able to 1v1 Urshifu because it has Alluring Voice. And it takes next to no damage, because he hits himself on the final Drain Punch, and he dies. And Alomomola is sitting at 100% at this point. The Deoxys is now 3-3, because Rotom was sacked to low kicks, and Urshifu just died. So now it's 3-3, and at this point, low kicks just kind of cleans up. He's able to flip turn on the Deoxys. That's another thing, is I think you had to go Darkrai and just Dark Pulse flinch, unless you were Psycho Boost. But I can't read because it's in fucking another language, so I don't know what his moves are. It was either Psychic or Psycho Boost. I don't know which one though. I know the commentary kept saying Psycho Boost, but I thought it was Psychic. It was Psycho Boost, and if it Psycho Boost one-shot Alomomola, you should have just gone for it. Otherwise, I think you had to go Darkrai and just click Dark Pulse. Because you have to not be down in the Zac War. And by going Deoxys, he clicked Future Sight as Alomomola comes in, or as is in, and clicks Flip Turn, and it lets in low kicks, and low kicks claims a kill. It kills the last 3, and now you're up in the Zac War. You 100% win the game, because now it kills the last 3 in one shot. So yeah, he completely choked a huge lead where he was severely favored, and it was mostly his fault. He did not play this second half of the game well at all. This was probably the biggest choke I've seen all season, even. Except maybe Arcs against Spider. I think he had multiple 100% ways to win and he didn't take them. But at least those weren't obvious. Like, at least he didn't have a 6-3 lead. Like, had he just gone... No, had he just kept his Urshifu around, I think he just won. You just needed something to live against the low kicks. You just couldn't let every single Pokemon die to low kicks. Low kicks killed Probopass. Low kicks killed Cincino. Oh, wait, no, I don't think it ended up... I don't think... Wait, no, I think it did kill Cincino. It killed Deoxys. It killed Rotom. It killed Probopass. It killed Cincino. I think it killed Darkrai as well. I think it literally got 5 kills this game. I think it quite literally got 5 kills this game, and it was because Chris let it get 5 kills. And I think that's the issue. That's why he's so far down, despite being 3-4. Because I think he played this game. The second half of this game was awful. And at this point, he is in a negative record. He started the season 3-1. I know part of that was Fist, but he's lost 3 games in a row. Chris himself has lost 2 in a row. Not really playing, not closing these games at all. It's just awful. It's not awful. It's just bad. Then we get Marcus, who's also sitting at 3-4 now. Marcus probably has the least momentum of anybody at this point. He's lost 3 out of his last 4, and his 1 win came against Muffins on a forfeit win. And if he had won any of these games, he'd be sitting at 4-3 and in a good position for playoffs. I was a big one because I was sitting at the same record as him. We were both sitting at 3-3, so obviously he needs to pull ahead of me. So he needed this win. At this point now, if we end up with the same differential, I have the head-to-head, so he needs to beat me by another. He actually has to beat me in differential, on top of having a same or equal record to me. So I can't win out. I can't go 1-1 even. I cannot go 1-1. Well, I guess I can go 1-1 if he goes 2-0. But the issue is now it puts him in a much less advantageous situation when it comes to playoff picture. Because you have to be thinking about this at this point. It's late in the season. There's 3 weeks left, including this one. Like 7 week, 8 week, 9. But yeah, he started the season 2-1, which is obviously isn't like anything crazy. It's just a good start. Like, it's the start of the season you would want. And then he loses. He gets a forfeit win versus Muffins, sitting then at 3-2. But now he's 3-4 after losing to Sceptile last week and now me this week. And this game was going pretty well for him. He brought Banded Pult. I do not know the item on King Gambit. Sylveon, I was Specs. Necrozma was Keyberry with Keyberry. the Iron Moth was Scarf, and Shiftry was lead Sash. So, I think the prep was fine. I think Pult probably didn't have to be banded. I think banded wasn't necessarily bad versus me, but I just think Specs or I think he brought banded expecting the Dunsparce here. Because the Dunsparce is good in the Iron Moth, like Terra Water is like pretty decent here. Or just Terra Normal, like staying. No, I just want to stay as a normal type. I really just want to stay as a normal type. It's good for Thun, it's good for Moth, it's good for Pult. But I didn't bring that, so Bandit Pult was just bad because it can't kill Goldingo because of Cassibberry. Or like Dragon Darts is the least free move versus my team. I have Cobalion and Goldingo. I have Ice Shard Weavile. So Bandit Pult ended up being not good into just the team I brought it wasn't good for. Like had I brought a more defensive route, like had I brought like an AV Mug, which makes some sense. Had I brought like the Dunsparce, like Bandit probably wouldn't have been awful. The issue is that's not what I brought. I brought Goldingo, Weavile, Slowking, Cobalion, Noivern, Kleavor. I also just kind of mostly brought offense with like Slowking defensive, and I think that was really the only bulk I had. See, I lead Kleavor as he leads just his lead Shiftry. I get my rocks up as he clicks Tailwind to get his Wind Rider. I go hard Weavile because I can die to a knock, or like I can die to an attack, and I don't really want to sack Kleavor for nothing. And Weavile's fine. Like HP on Weavile doesn't really too much matter. It only matters potentially for King Gambit and like Quick Attack Sylveon. Everything else, like Pult's gonna kill me, Moth's gonna kill me. If Necrozma has Heat Wave or 80 real type of coverage for me, it's gonna kill me. Like, so basically, it's very unimportant. HP on Weavile is, but he ends up taking a T-Spike up, which makes sense if that's your game plan. It's probably for more like a Dunsparce. Again, it's more of a passive route with like a Dunsparce Slowking type of defensive core, stuff like that. Which I did bring Slowking, and it did get hit with T-Spikes. But like Goldingo's unaffected, Weavile's Boots unaffected, Noivern's Flying, Cabalion's Steel, and it only hits Kleavor and Slowking. And Kleavor taking a T-Spike doesn't too much matter, but it does matter for Slowking. It definitely does matter for Slowking. It makes Moth a lot better and / easier. But yeah, he gets in Moth on, or he gets in after the Shiftry dies to Ice Shard. Sylveon comes in with Tailwind, and I actually completely forget about Tailwind, but his speed creep was bad. I was more speed than he expected. I sped crept a like what did I speed creep? He expected me to speed creep Ogerpon. I went a little bit more than that because I crept a Scarf Sylveon. Because it's like the difference is like Ogerpon's 150 and Scarf Sylveon would be 160. So, or sorry, 350 and 360. So I just wanted to be the little bit extra because the HP probably wouldn't matter. And the speed could matter. It ended up actually completely mattering because the Sylveon was not meant to outspeed that. It was not meant to outspeed a Weavile creeping Ogerpon. So yeah, it ended up working out phenomenally because I was able to get a knockoff and not... I was able to knock the Sylveon. And then at that point, Goldingo was able to beat it comfortably. I paralyzed it. And now the Sylveon's paralyzed. So Goldingo can just sit there and recover until it gets full Oh, I dropped my thingy. Yeah, Goldingo can just sit on at that point. He does go hard Moth, and then he clicks U-turn as Slowking comes in, which is a good play because Goldingo doesn't actually die to a Fiery Dance. Scarf Fiery Dance. The issue is I didn't know his item. And I didn't even know if he was Fiery Dance, because if he was Fire Blast or Flamethrower or anything like that, I would have died. So, but he U-turns. So that basically reveals to me that he's probably Scarf. It's not guaranteed, but probably Scarf. If he's not Scarf, he's Sash, but the odds of that are low because he didn't lead it. And I have Kleavor, so the odds of you just being Sash in general is very low. I have a lot of hazards, and I have Goldego, so rather be Sash or low. So odds are that you're either Specs or Scarf at this point. Either one, I don't really know which one you are. I assume Scarf because it's fair to assume. Um, but he makes a good U-turn play, and then Polk comes in and clicks U-turn on Slowking. I actually run out of time on this turn, so I click Calm Mind. I did not mean to click that. I would have clicked Side Shock, but either way, it didn't really matter too much. But it actually was better. It's probably better for him that I clicked Calm Mind. Well, obviously it's better for him, but yeah. But yes, Polk reveals to be Banded, which is big because I know this early on. Um, just good information to have. As what comes next? Oh yeah, he goes Necrozma as I call mine and die to T-Spike's poison. Which sucked, but like it's about expected. So yeah, at this point now I have lost Slowking, I've lost Weavile, the Necrozma's in, uh, Cleavor comes in, but I click fucking Trailblaze, and Necrozma just clicks Morning Sun. I was Life Orb, so I assumed that he would keep Necrozma around because it's good in the Cobalion. Because I thought the Cobalion was a huge threat at this point. Because it's Banded Pult, so that cannot beat it. He has King Gambit, which cannot beat it. I beat it. Sylveon, which cannot beat me. And then I figured you'd keep Necrozma around because he needs it to beat Cobalion. Because obviously he has Moth, but Moth's taking rocks every time, and it has to come in also on Goldengo. Well, it doesn't have to, but like, if Moth can end up dying. So if Moth dies, at that point he will legitimately just lose to Cobalion. So I assume he's gonna keep his Necrozma around, and he doesn't. I click Trailblaze, I get faster now, but that doesn't matter. As Cleavor gets, or Necrozma reveals the Key Berry, gets back to full. At that point, I click X Scissor, just like 75%, which means without that plus point, it was 100% dead. But yeah, then I kill it with. Oh, at that point, I'm down 5-3. Or yeah, I'm down 5-3. But I still have a chance. But my chances are pretty low at this point. I can't really. Marcus should not allow me to bring this back. But it's not like a free win for him at this point. Like I have to get turns right around Iron Moth probably. But the issue is he has so many sacks. Like I don't have to get. I don't. He doesn't have sacks. It just has like Bandit Pult, which can switch up moves. He has King Gambit still, which is a big ass threat. And I have to have Cobalion for that. Like it's just a really frustrating situation. But Noivern comes in, is able to revenge the Necrozma, and then Gambit comes in, which is big because I have Focus Blast. So if I hit here, I assume that he's Chopo Berry, but at this point I don't see a way around that because if he's Chopo Berry, there's almost a 100% chance he has Low Kick, and at that point Cobalion would die, and I would just kind of just lose the game. So at that point I was like, I have no other option. I have to click Focus Blast. And it hits, and he's not Chopo Berry. I have no idea what the item was, but it wasn't Chopo Berry. So at that point, I one-shot it, and now it's 3-3. And I'm in a fine position now. I'm not in a good position, but a Pult comes in. He doesn't click Dragon Darts, which is a good play. He clicks U-turn on Cobalion and gets in Iron Moth. I just go hard Noivern because I have to. I have to keep my Pokemon around. I technically could have gone Goldengo because it lives one. And he's already revealed. Actually, no, he hasn't revealed Fiery Dance at this point, so I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's Fiery Dance. So I just go hard Noivern. And he clicks Fiery Dance. It gets a boost, which was good for him because that gave him a opportunity to stay in and just click Fiery Dance twice and risk like a dodge. So I clicked Draco because if he stays in and clicks Fiery Dance, I auto lose. While if he goes Sylveon, I can still just pivot Goldengo. But at this point, he has to get in Moth on a turn that Goldengo clicks Recover, and he never does that. Individually, Sylveon gets fully paralyzed, and it gets fully paralyzed on the last recover that I had, which is big because I click Hex, I kill it. Moth's sitting at 25% at this point. I just Hex to kill it, and Pult cannot beat everything. It clicks Phantom Force, so it almost beats everything actually. But like also had I had one more whatever. Had I had one more recover, if Sylveon didn't break through so many times, I would have been able to recover on the Bandit Pult, and I would have had 100% way to win. But he never got fully paralyzed until the last one, so it actually almost clutched up for him. It was like actually really big that he wasted all my recovers. But yeah, Phantom Force, he's able to go for Phantom Force, it kills Goldengo. Cobalion comes in, Heavy Slam's a damage roll, and I don't know how much HP he is, so I don't know what the damage roll is, so a Thunder Wave is a 100% chance to win, assuming I hit. He goes for Phantom Force, he does the damage, and I hit Thunder Wave, and I kill with Heavy Slam. So yeah, Marcus really messed up by going Gambit on Noivern. That was the biggest turning tide of the game, or like turn of the game. To be fair, well, no, it's just that was the turning point of the game. It's not like Gambit was the most important Pokemon, to be fair, because knowing that it's not Chompo Berry now means that the only other option was he on Noivern. He should just gone pull it there though, because he doesn't have to play that game with Sylveon if he has King Gambit around. That's the thing. He doesn't have to play that game. He can just go Gambit on Goldengo. I do not have Focus Blast. I was Hex Dazzling Gleam. I was Hex Dazzling Gleam, I believe. Wait, maybe I wasn't D-Gleam. I was Hex Thunder Wave Recover. I'm pretty sure I was a D-Gleam last. No, was I Psyshock? Maybe I was... No. What was I? I don't know. I have no idea what my last... Ouch. I have no idea what my last move was. But... yeah, Marcus messed up by not keeping his Gambit around. By letting his Necrozma get chipped. Like, to that degree. Well, I understand letting Necrozma get chipped because you didn't have another sack. Unless you sacked Gambit yourself. Which... I get that then. But yeah, it was just like a weird game because I didn't really play well, but he also didn't play well. And the issue with Marcus and why he's so low at 3 and 4 is just that he's like ranked 13. Obviously, same thing with Chris, but Marcus at least got a win in the last few weeks. I know it's a forfeit win, but it's a win. Next, we got Sableye. Sableye, he's up. He's on the up. He's lucky too, but well, he's not lucky. He didn't get lucky this game, but yeah, Sableye brought SD Cobalion, or not SD Cobalion, SD Iron Valiant with Drain Punch. He brought Ursaluna. It was actually the Guts, and I think it's like the second time all season he's brought it. Serena, I think, was Assault Vest because it took like 60 from +1 Spectrier, which is insane. But it was on Showdown, so I didn't actually see what it was. And the Sableye's part wasn't up, so I have no idea what it was. When I checked, Sableye's part was not up. Glacier was Terra Electric. The Chandler was actually Blunder Policy. I assume Inferno. If not Inferno, he was just banking on missing Wisp, I guess. Then Haxorus was Scarf. The matchup's fine. It's fine. It's not good, but it's, again, fine. I think the biggest issue comes from Tiglu. You don't really have a good answer to it, especially if the Serena is a Assault Vest, because you just don't really like Earthquake. Quack is also a gigantic issue. If it manages to waste the booster on Valiant, it kind of just wins. Because Scarf Hank is not gonna one shot, I'm guessing. So at that point, Aqua Step, he has Triple Axle as well. Like, it's a good chance of winning if he gets +1/+1, and he gets it pretty, not easily, but he can get it up. He can get that up. But he brings Spectrier, Ting, Quack, Arcanine, Reggie. Is it Wigglytuff? He bring Wigglytuff, and he brought Wigglytuff. It's Ursaluna into a lead. I think just Quack lead, maybe? I don't actually remember the lead. Maybe it was Spectre Air. I know he was hard Regigigas, and he takes like a Fire Punch or an Ice Punch or something. I don't remember, but the Guts Ursaluna does nothing. It ends up at 30%, and it like loses 1v1 to a Regigigas. Because he clicks sub. He clicks sub on a Guts Flame Orb Ursaluna. Sub was fine. Kind of. Not really. Because the issue with sub is that you took fucking 25%. Inherently, you took 31% because you're not attacking and you're wasting a turn. So you took a third of your HP just to get a substitute off. And so, that was bad. Then you're forced into the Chandelier on the Regigigas because you die with Ursaluna. Do an Ice Punch. So he goes Ice Punch. Chandelier clicks Wisp as the Regigigas clicks Knock, and that's where the Blunder policy is revealed. But at that point, I believe he just sacks Regigigas and then gets in Spectrier, and it just clicks Shadow Ball. He kills the Chandelier. I don't know why you wouldn't sack Ursaluna at that point. I think he wanted to still get value out of the Ursaluna, but I don't really see on what. At that point, you should just sack Ursaluna, but he doesn't. He sacks Chandelier. I just think, I guess limits a sub. I think it's just sub. Yeah, you worry about a sub. So I guess you should sack Chandelier. But yeah, he sacks Chandelier, and it goes for Shadow Ball, and it dies, and now he's +1. So he has to go this Serena. It clicks Knock, as it 2 kills the Shadow Ball, but he switches down to Ursaluna, sacks Ursaluna. So now, the Spectre has gotten 2 kills, and 60% into Serena, and then Haxorus is forced in to click Scarf Earthquake, so now he knows it's Scarf. So that Spectre got insane value. But on this Earthquake, he's able to go... He just goes Tinglu and clicks Earthquake. The Serena dies. It's sitting at like 35, and it just dies to Earthquake, which I think it reveals the Banded. The Glacier comes in to revenge it, but he switches out into Icicle Crash into Hard Quack, and then Quack clicks Flip Turn back into Tinglu as it Terra Electrics. So, basically, you're in an amazing position as Spider, because now you kill the Glacier with Earthquake. So now you're up like 4-2, I think, because all that's left at this point is Scarf Haxorus and Valiant, I believe. Yeah, that's definitely all that's left. So yeah, just goes for it all with SD Hax or SD Valiant, and Spider still has, at this point, he still has Spectre Air. He has 100% Tinglu. He has Quack sitting at like 90%, or like 85, 90%. He has Wigglytuff, who hasn't came out. He has Arcanine, who hasn't came out. The only Deadmon is Regigigas. So actually, he's literally up 2-5. But then the Valiant comes in. It lives in Earthquake, does like 88% as it goes for Swords Dance. And Spider switches out on Drain Punch. He switches out hard into Quack, and it gets a Drain Punch off. And then it just sweeps from there. Yeah, I mean, Sableye didn't move up much, even though he beat the number 3 team. Because he got fucked all game. He really got screwed all game. He had no momentum. He just had the right Valiant. And I don't really know. The issue was, I don't know what Spider could have done about that. I thought about it after, and if Tinglu lived +2 Drain Punch, then the Ting should have stayed in. Which I'm assuming that it did, because Ting is bulky as shit. So I'm assuming that it lived +2 Drain Punch, and you should have just sacked off Tinglu, because you don't need Tinglu for Haxorus. But the issue is, you could theoretically need it for Haxorus. But no, you just don't, because you have 100% Wigglytuff. You should have just stayed in with Tinglu, but he switched out to Quack because he wants to keep the Tinglu because it's good for Haxorus. But it just gets Drain Punched and dies. If Tinglu died to Drain Punch, there's literally nothing he could do about this, other than go hard Spectrier. No, the Spectrier is dead. So yeah, no, it was 2 to 4. Especially he's dead. So yeah, there's not much you could really do to prevent this, I think. And I think that's the issue. Unless Ting Lu lived +2 Drain Punch. If it lived, then you could just stay in, click Earthquake again. You either kill or do enough to where E-Speed from Arcanine kills. I think he actually did live. Because it's just Drain Punch. Like, Drain Punch is weak. I don't know. I think Sableye played the game very poorly and just had the right set. Beat him. Volume. Um, Volume's basically in the same exact position that Sableye was. Uh, yeah, no, I mean, Volume basically did the exact same thing Sableye did. Played very shitty all game, but had a set of sweeper in the end that just won. So, Volume played Wreck-It Mike. Big game because Volume has to win out at this point to have a real chance at playoffs. He doesn't. Nah, he just has to win out. 5 and 4. You need to win out. You have a chance if you go 4 and 5, but the chances are very low. But yeah, see the 6 that he brought. It was Expert Belt Grin. It was Cosmic Power Clef. It was Sinisha, which is Calm Mind, standard stuff. Terra Fairy. The Tentacruel was Payapa Berry. With Toxic, Sludge Wave, Flip Turn, Surf, I believe. Lycan was Expert Belt with no Crunch, by the way. But it was Expert Belt, Stone Edge, CC, and Play Rough. And FICO was just 4 attacks. Like, I like the team that he brought. I thought the Lycan this wasn't the thing I even wrote down because I don't think it's a big deal. And I don't think, I could understand not being this. But I thought Lycanroc should have been Crunch. I just need to put that down. I thought Lycanroc should have been Crunch. There's a Deoxys right there. But he actually didn't bring Deoxys, so it actually just didn't matter at all. But, like, Edges get stalled out so easily by Deoxys, and I imagine Crunch is, like, does a good chunk. You're Tough Claws, you get the boost, and you get the, Expert Belt. So, like, I think you should have been Crunch. But that didn't matter anyway, because he didn't bring Deoxys. So, that's why I didn't write it down, because it's like, he didn't even bring it. But, yeah, it's, Cosmic Power Clef probably just wins. The issue is you need damage into... Not much. I mean, that's the thing, is if you get your... If Deoxys here is really problematic, though, because it can just taunt you. And I thought Deoxys was coming to beat Clef, like, guaranteed. It's not even Steel Move Iron Treads. It's not like a Specs and Amorous that'll do a good chunk. Hitmontop has no way to touch it. Drifblim ended up being Scarf. It's like, his entire team, like, honestly, his team also lost to Calm... I didn't lose to Calm Mind Clef. You have Banded Palafin. He just didn't expect Cosmic Power. If it was Calm Mind Clef, he just would have beaten it. That was the issue, though, is it wasn't. I think Calm Mind Kia Berry would have been pretty annoying, but you could still beat it. Like, he just should have been Taunt Deoxys. He should have just brought it. But yeah, lead, it's Lycanroc on Hitmontop. Horrible lead. He didn't expect Hitmontop lead. But obviously, Mike just wanted to prevent the Stealth Rocks from going up. He clicks Spin turn 1. Know that he has a Clef, but Volume chooses to go Tentacruel and takes a Rapid Spin into an Earthquake just for a Toxic. A very unimportant Toxic, by the way. But it actually ended up helping a little bit. But, like, that's just not good. Like, you have a Clefable that takes nothing. There's nothing the Hitmontop can even go for. Like, it just doesn't have anything. Triple Axle was the best move it went for. It did like 40%. So instead, you let your Tentacruel, which you wanted for Palafin, which you don't even need for Palafin, but you want it for Palafin. Like, Tentacruel in general is good for an Amorous, too. Like, you want this Tentacruel, and you have 100% counter to Hitmontop, and he goes Tentacruel and takes an Earthquake, and it's now sitting at like 30%. Then he finally goes Clef, as Mike predicts it, goes for Triple Axle, just like 40%. Doesn't really do anything. Morning Sun or Moonlights as Iron Treads comes in. Uh, the Treads ends up clicking Stealth Rock, so rocks go up early again, as everyone does versus Volume. I don't really know why. It's not like he has one remover. I guess it's Tentacruel. I forgot Discord doesn't get defog. Yeah, so I guess setting with hazards. Like, I think Volume needs to bring Boots Grin more. He's not like here. I liked Belt. I think Belt was whatever. But like Boots Blaziken, Boots Greninja, because every single match, his Pokemon are just getting. Volume. You're probably listening to this. I don't think necessarily here. I think it's Spike's matchup. This one was actually a Spike's matchup, and a Webs. He had Webs. He had Spikes. He had Rocks. So honestly, Boots Grin would have probably made sense, but you know, hindsight's 2020. I'm surprised no Snorlax too, because that would have hardwalled Grin. The Grin said he was. Maybe he didn't have Lax. No, he definitely had Lax at this time. I don't know, but yeah, he sacks off Tentacruel. The Treads does get chipped down because when the Treads comes in and goes for rocks, the Vikavolt comes in. And he Volt switches out into fucking Hardened Amorous as he goes for a Mud Shot. But there's nothing he can really do about it. Because he can't go Drifblim. He can't stay in with an Amorous. Treads is his check, counter, whatever. Chew doesn't want to come in and take the damage. And Palafin obviously can't come in. So he like kind of has to take the damage with Treads. So he ends up taking a Mud Shot. Does like 50-something%. I'm like, damn. That did way more than I thought it would do. And unfortunately, the Chi-Yu comes in and he fucking misses. Which is awful, because I think that's just 95% accurate. I'm pretty sure it's 95% accurate. So, awful miss. Because that would have done, like, I'm guessing, like, 40. I don't think it would have done a shit ton, but it's still, like, 40%. Which is good, really good for Clef. And good for Vikavolt also, just later. It's Terra Fire Vikavolt. So, like, you could Terra Fire and then just kill it with Thunderbolt if you had hit that. I don't think there you could have done it, but, like, eventually you can get into a situation. Though, to be fair, I guess the rocks are up, and if you Terra Fire, you weak to rocks. I guess you're weak to rocks anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, it probably didn't really too much matter, the miss, but, like, it still really sucked, because Sinistcha, Sinistcha can't touch it. So, but, like, then again, you have Heat Proof and Terra Fairy. So, it didn't end up mattering also, so... But it could have mattered. We'll get into that. But he's able to get the 55% off. But then Chi-Yu comes in and he goes hard Grin on the Chi-Yu on Lava Plume. Also, for one, if you clicked Overheat, for one, hold on. For multiple things. But for number one, if this Chi-Yu was Specs, it would have blown him away. The Lava Plume does like 50-something%. It's like 60. And he's like, oh, I think that's Specs. That's insane. That's incredibly disrespectful to Chi-Yu. You're telling me a Chi-Yu did 60% to Greninja, and it's like, yeah, that's Specs? No. If it was Specs, you're fucking dead. Like, he legitimately died. I don't know the damage calc, but I'm assuming it does fucking, like, 80 minimum. Nah, that shit might just 100%. I'm not doing the calc. But you're dead. You're gone. That Greninja would have been dead. And I guess the burn, which sucked. But he doesn't like playing this Greninja well. So yeah, Grin comes in, it clicks Surf as Drifblim comes in, and then Drifblim reveals to be Scarf as he goes for Surf again, but it dies. So Grin, once again, does nothing in a matchup where it had super effective coverage versus 5 out of the 6? 5 out of the 6, yep, 5 out of the 6. It had super effective coverage versus, and it got 0 kills. It didn't even, it got like 50% off. That's how much damage it did. Yeah, really odd how Volume opts to play as Greninja. You're probably hearing this. Stop, please. To be fair, though, I don't think that was the worst play. I think Tentacruel was still alive at this point, I'm pretty sure. So, Tentacruel was probably just a sack at this point, and then you get in Grin safely. And at that point, where's the switch in? There's nothing. Like, there's no switch in for Surf. This Hitmontop was not Assault Vest. Though, to be fair, it should have been Assault Vest. I don't know why it was. It was clear Amulet. I don't know if you knew that. If it's you listening, it should have been Assault Vest. But still, like, Surf's so free. Like, Grin is super good here. Chi-Yu's not Scarf. And Amber's isn't Scarf. Treads isn't Scarf. Palafin's obviously not Scarf. He has no Scarfer. His best answer is to Mach Punch. Drift Blim Scarf. But that's not doing anything. That's literally not doing anything. It has Hex. So, yeah, Sax's Greninja, which was very good here. And, on top of that, he goes Lycanroc after the Drift Blim. After it dies the Hex. After the Drift Blim reveals to be Scarf Hex, Terra Ghost, he goes Lycanroc. And he just takes a Scarf Terra Ghost Hex. It does a shit ton. Lycanroc's now almost dead. So yeah, I don't know. I do not know what the game plan, what the anything was. I don't know why he did that. I don't think he even knows why he did that. Like, you have a free Clef. You have a free Sinistcha, sorry. I forgot Sinistcha. Because he Katera. Sinistcha Katera. You have so many options there. And he goes Lycanroc to take 70%. And risk a Stone Edge. If he had Crunch, he would have been able to hit. But he goes Lycanroc just to risk a Stone Edge. Why? But it works out. It kills it. But then Hitmontop comes in, Mach Punches, and kills the Lycanroc. Yeah, he could have gone hard Clef there, but I guess in case he, like, triple axles and 2 KOs, it's whatever. Like, Lycanroc's still good here, because, again, no Scarfer. At this point, there would be no Scarfer, because it'd just be Hitmontop. So if you're able to kill Hitmontop, Lycanroc would legitimately just win on the spot. Well, you have Palafin. Okay, but it locks into Jet Punch. That would be good for your Sinistcha. So, it just would. There's no Stone Edge switch, and if he goes Shreds, there's no Close Combat switch, and if he goes Enamorous, there's once again no Stone Edge. You get the idea. It's really good offensively. It would basically claim the kill. But it's low at that point. I get it. It's like it's sitting at 20-25%. It may die to 2 Rock Swampins. If it doesn't die to 2, it dies to 3. So, I get it. But yeah, the Clef comes in and just wins on the Hitmontop. So, in hindsight, who really cares about the rest of the game? It doesn't really matter. Clef was broken. That's the issue, though. That's why I was talking about the Chi-Yu. If it had clicked, what's it called? That's why maybe not going Clef ever was the play, because you probably need your Moonlights. But then again, Chi-Yu, wasn't clicking Overheat. It was clicking Lava Plume. It wasn't doing a lot. But also, that's where the damage could have mattered. With the Mud Shot, it did like 40, I'm guessing. So that means it was a 2-shot from Moonblast. Moonblast was 2-shot at that point, instead of 3-shot. So you save Moonlights. So that could have mattered, and it almost did matter. But it actually kind of did matter, because it lost him a differential point, I think, by missing the Mud Shot, which could seriously matter come playoff time. It really could. This one differential point could matter. But yeah, just Tentacruel being weakened like it was, Grin being weakened like it was, Lycanroc being weakened like it was, just letting everything get chipped down so easily. Especially when it comes crunch time, when you need these differential points, you gotta play these games better. I don't think you're playing them bad. Oh, I say you, but I don't think Volume is playing them bad. Too bad. I don't think he's playing them too bad. But just certain decision making, it's a little bit questionable at times. In comes Razor Claw, who is 2-5, yet he's higher than 3, 4, 3 and 4 guys. So my issue with Razor Claw is that he's beat Volume, and he's beat Shadow Stitch, who's actually above him, but he beats Shadow Stitch this week. So he beats. Wait, where is Shadow Stitch? Is he above him? He is. Oh, okay, I know why. It's not everything's by head to head. Razor has not been single digit good. He's sitting at 2-5. He's not been single digit good. But yeah, Razor got just kind of won this match. I don't really know. I think the matchup was very good. He brought agility on the Pheasantibity. It was double kick, gunk shot, play rough with the item was Lum, maybe? I think it was Lum. I don't actually remember the item. Uh, Gross was psychic, knock, another special move. What was it? Grass knot, maybe? I don't remember. With rocks. Um, Gasser didn't come. Mamo was Life Orb. Avalug was it was just lead. It was like kind of lead. I don't think it was actually like, officially the lead. It was just the best lead. Talonflame was Terra Water. And Raikou was actually screens with Volt Switch and I forgot his last move. Probably Shadow Ball or something. I don't remember. But yeah, so I think Razor's matchup was like pretty damn good. Like Samurott can't really set up spikes when there's an Avalug right there. Pheasant is really good here actually. Metagross doesn't get Luster Purged from Latios. And you have to be wary of going for Shadow Ball and getting a weakness policy. Mamo is insane here, like just Earthquake, Icicle Crash. It's always gonna be good because it's a fucking Mamoswine, but it's like really good here. It's almost everything, like Tran, Zapdos, Latios, Donphan, Serp. Every one of those get hit super effectively. Zoroark is probably taking like 60% from Adamant Life Orb, Ice Shard. It's probably not 60. Ow, shit. It's probably not that much, but it's like probably like 50% from the Ice Shard. Like, Weezing cannot check it because it has Heavy Slam. Like, it's so incredibly good into their everything. Jolteon can't touch Mamoswine. Mamoswine is so incredible here. He's just Life Orb. He just does damage. He does a shit ton of damage. Talonflame's like decent here. It's okay here. There's a Jolteon, so it's kind of annoying, but it's decent. And then screens. The screens negate everything. Like, I think this matchup is genuinely awful for Shadow Stitch. That's why I didn't really too much negate him. Like, I already showed Shadow Stitch. I only dropped him 2. And I didn't move him above Razor Claw, or behind Razor Claw. Damn. I didn't move him behind Razor Claw because, again, I think Razor Claw had a pretty damn good matchup. Razor didn't really make a mistake. He just kind of played the matchup. Avalug led, was able to prevent spikes from Samurai and kill it, and it got the Weezing chip. And that Weezing chip basically meant that Pheasantipity, Talonflame, it put it in Mamoswine range. Like, that chip was literally all he needed to win. He did waste a turn double kicking into Serp where he should have just clicked Gunk Shot. He predicted Tran, I'm guessing. Well, he predicted Tran, no, I'm guessing. He just predicted Tran, but you didn't really have to. You have Talonflame, you have Fez, you can just double kick after, really. And it allowed Serp to get another screen up and not take enough damage. So, like, theoretically speaking, it was out of Ice Shard range for Mamoswine, potentially. So, late game, it could have been an issue, but it wasn't. Mamoswine ended up cleaning up late game. Like, this game was very quick. Razors had advantage most of the match. The screens, like, Latios couldn't do anything. Samurott died. Train was Solar Beam, which is pretty good, but didn't matter. Weezing died early. Serp was just screens and died to Ice Shard. The issue with Jolt is that you want to be Terra Ice because you want to resist Ice Shard, but then again, you can't be Terra Ice. Jolt died from 50% from Ice Shard. Ice Shard did fucking 50% to Jolteon. Why is Mamoswine so damn strong? Yeah, Jolteon just died at half to Ice Shard from Mamoswine. It's like, the matchup was ass. That's why I didn't want to praise him too far. But the issue with Shadow Stitch is I think Shadow Stitch has been decent this season. I think he's been pretty, or not decent, I think he's been pretty good. As a whole, he's been pretty good. And I think the difference between him and Volume, because that's where Razor Claw is between them, is that Volume didn't really play his match amazingly, and he just was able to come out with a set that his opponent really couldn't do much about. With the team he brought, especially, he couldn't do anything about it. He just didn't expect the set, and he got swept by it. Stitch, on the other hand, just like, he like just actually just didn't have an out. And that was my idea. Is like, I don't think he had an out versus Razor. Latios can never do anything. Samurott has to beat an Avalug, which is a task. Trey's like okay, but it's not that good. Uh, there's no Gastro, so like the Solar Beam tech probably doesn't even matter. But actually, it did end up helping because it helped predict the Talonflame with Solar Beam on Terra Water. The Terra Watered and took like 60%, but like it's just not enough. It just died to 2 Terra Blasts at that point. Like I don't know. Like as first off, without screens, I think he probably still couldn't win. Like assuming Razor didn't have screens, Raikou, I think he still couldn't win. But alright, well, he probably could have won, but it was really difficult. With screens, I do not see a win con. Not with the team he brought. I think maybe, like, Banded Zapdos and just get turns right, maybe. Or, like, Yachi Lottie and just try to bait in Mamo or, like, something. I do not know what he could have really done, though. It's a really tough matchup, I think. And that's why I didn't really too much fault him. I took him down 2 spots. I don't think he had much of a shot here. Look at a Wreck-It Mike, who sitting at number 8 because he had just beaten Shadow Stitch last week. And, you know, he was also just higher than Shadow Stitch already. So, I just moved them both down 2. I just talked about Wreck-It Mike's match with Volume. Palafin was banded. Chiyu was just 4 attacks. Treads was Rocks with... What berry was it? It was... Pasho Berry. The Hitmontop was Clear Amulet for some reason. I have no idea why. I genuinely don't have any idea why. I don't see anything other than, like, the only thing I could possibly see was, like, Sinister Shadow Ball. That was the only thing I could see. I genuinely do not see anything else that he could stat drop with. But, yeah. The Enamorus was Sub-CM, and the Drifloon was Scarf. I think the Clear Amulet Hitmontop was useless. But he played, like, pretty well, before the Clef came in. Like, he was seriously in the lead. He was like, up 6-4. He got value out of the Drifloon. He's getting value out of Chiyu. He was able to manage Vikavolt decently well. Hitmontop was doing wonders, checking the mons it needed to check. And then the Clef came in, and yeah, and it just kind of beat him down. Could he have done? He actually did have an out, kind of. I think he would have had a chance. I don't know how this would have ended up, but the issue was he burnt it with Lava Plume, which was good, except then he didn't spam Overheat. He knew that it was unaware Clef once the burn went off. I think he even had rocks up, but I think he may have missed that the rocks were up. So maybe he didn't see that, which, I mean, I get that. I wouldn't have missed that. I never missed those. But, like, I understand missing that. Like, totally. But yeah, like, I don't know what he really could have done. Like, Hitmontop can never beat it. Enamorus can never beat it. The only thing Drifloon can do is potentially fucking Destiny Bond it. That's what it can do. That's it. Palafin was able to, like, not beat it, but he was able to force a lot of Moonlights and then force it into a situation where it eventually died to Burn plus Enamorus. But Chiyu tried to beat it. If he clicked Overheat a lot more. So that's the thing. I think he would have probably won if he clicked Overheat. Because it came down to Lastmon, Clef, and... It was Lastmon, Clef, and I think Tentacruel? Or no, Sinistra. And I think Tentacruel... How did Tentacruel die? Did it die? I don't even know if Tentacruel died. Maybe it's a figment of my imagination. It wasn't over. Like, because it was like Clef, Sinistra, Vikavolt. And we still have to break through Sinistra, which is not easy with the team he brought. But, like, Banded Palafin still is a shit ton. Like, I mean... And Enamorus would be decent in a Sinistra too, with just Moonblast dropping potential. Like, it basically meant he'd already killed the biggest offensive threat in Greninja. He'd already almost killed Tentacruel. And he had already killed the second biggest offensive threat in Lycanroc. So at that point, you just kind of have to deal with the fatter mons, set up mons. And once if you manage that, you win. So yeah, he just didn't. Had he spammed overheat on Clef after the lava plume burn, I think he probably would have had a good shot to win. Because at this point, he would have Chiyu around, he would have Treads around, he would have an Amorous around, Palafin around, he would have everything. And Hitmontop, he literally had 5 Mons still alive. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. He forgets until it's too late. He's only able to race like 1 extra Moonlight with overheat. Had he clicked it the entire time, he would have probably wasted. I think Chiyu ended up wasting like 3 Moonlights, I think. Maybe 2 or 3. It's 2 or 3. End up wasting. Had he spammed overheat? I don't know. It went way more. He probably would have gotten like 4, 5 maybe even, because overheat's doing like 30. So it would have given him a chance to just stall out of Moonlights. They would get to me. Up again, 2 more. On a very hot streak right now. 3 wins in a row. Played 3 fine guys. I beat Sceptile. Beat Lord Chris, whose record is a little bit of a, what's it called? Charade? Nah, that's not the word. A little bit of a cover up. We'll just call it a cover up. And then Marcus, who had the same record as me. I mean, who really cares? No one's gonna listen to my part. I know about my part. I actually didn't play this game very well though. My early game was kind of awful even. I forget about Sylveon under Tailwind. I didn't get punished for it because he wasn't fast enough, but I forgot about Sylveon under Tailwind. I run out of time and sack Slow Clean for literally nothing. I Trailblaze with Cleavor and lose Cleavor when it had a completely free X Scissor. And the only thing that got me back in this game was him funking up and going King Gambit on Focus Blast from Noivern. He didn't know I had Focus Blast. I guess he assumed Flamethrower. But yeah, I had Focus Blast. So I was able to kill it. And then I was able to fight back. But, like, this is not that well played game for me, to be honest. Just the only thing is that who am I going to go under? Mike lost. Shadow Stitch also lost. And so I'm not going under 2 and 10 Razor Claw. So, like, at this point, it's like, you see the situation. There's no one for me to be under. I was just kind of the lowest I could possibly be in a win. Like, in the second half of the game, I played well, but just the first half of the game was really bad, and I really didn't play the early game well. Then we get Muffins. He played Gravy this week. Always gonna be a tough one. But yeah, I liked his prep too. It was just a Terrain Sneasler, which I thought probably wasn't that good. There's an Iron Hands, there's a Mew, there's a Landorus. There's even like priority from Chiempao. Like Slazzle, you have to get a Swords Dance up to kill. Like, I don't know. I don't think I would have brought Sneasler as a Terrain winner here. But it's a good breaker. I think you should use it more as a breaker. But like, it actually ended up being in a position to win late game potentially. So if he clicked Swords Dance on the Switch, then he would have won. But yeah, it was Swords Dance, Terrain, Sneasler, Screamtail was Booster, the Archaludon was Shuka Lead, Toys was Assault Vest, Typhlosion was Keyberry Flame Charge, pretty cool set, and Rillaboom was Banded. He sacks Archaludon for rocks. It doesn't too much matter. That was game plan. And then Mew comes in, clicks Aura Sphere. Yeah, he comes in, clicks Aura Sphere, as then you go. I think you just go Rillaboom and click Knockoff. As Lando comes in, and then he U-turns on Blastoise. Iron Hands comes in, Screamtail comes in, and gets a Psyshock off. As Iron Hands kills it with Heavy Slam. So you're down 6-4 early. But then Rillaboom comes in. It kills Iron Hands. Then what comes in? What comes in? I forgot. I think just Chiempower comes in. But Chienbao should have gotten a kill at that point, so I don't know. Whatever. Something comes in on Rillaboom. And Rillaboom's able to eventually get in like multiple times and brings it down. Like he was down, Muffins was. He was down 4-6 and now he's up 4-3. As Chien is in on Rillaboom in the situation we're in. And this is where I think he kind of fucks up like pretty bad even. So he's drum beating Woodhammer, Knockoff, and Grassy Glide. Like he's 3 grass moves because you don't need anything else. But Knockoff, you're never clicking U-turn with this mon. Though maybe it wasn't grassy. Maybe I misread it. Maybe it wasn't drum. No, I know I read drum beating. So the thing is, he should have, if it was going for drum beating, which I'm 100% sure it was because I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Maybe I should recheck just to make sure, because I don't want to spread misinformation on the internet. But the Rillaboom went for drum beating as to kill whatever was in. I don't remember what was in, but it killed whatever was in. Here it is. Nope, not gonna. It killed whatever is in right here. Make sure it was going for drum beating. Because if it was going for Grassy Glide, it's a little different. Yeah, because here, flip turns on Iron Hands as it takes... Oh, yeah, and Blastoise gets really low because it takes a hit from Iron Hands. But yeah, here's the drum beating. So, he gets into a situation where Rillaboom is in on Chienpao. I think what he's supposed to do there is just click drum beating. It doesn't have to kill. But what happens then is Chienpao has 2 options. It can kill you with Ice Spin or Icicle. It was Icicle Crash. It kills you with Icicle Crash. You then go Typhlosion. You click Terra. You Flame Charge. Everything's in range at this point. You're faster than +1 Chien. You're +1. You're faster than Chienpao. You kill Mute. You kill Salazzle. Worst possible thing is that you don't kill Mew, but you do kill Mew. So I don't really have to. That's it. You kill Mew. You get +1. Ice Shard can't kill you from Chienpao because you're Key Berry. Crashing to Ice Shard doesn't kill. And so at that point you win. If he SDs as you drum beating, you then are faster. You should be good. If you're faster, you're good. Because then Sneasel outspeeds, Typhlosion outspeeds, everything outspeeds, you can kill it. So he has no way to win, I think, if you just click drum beating here. The issue is if Mew doesn't die to Typhlosion, then it's kind of problematic. But either way, he has to either sack... No. You just 100% win. Or you just Terra and attack. Maybe you just go... Yeah, maybe you just drum beating. But if he kills you, you go Typhlosion, Terra, Fire move. Nah, he can go Hard Salazzle, which is what he would do probably. But if you just attack, then it's Mew, Salazzle, and you should win. Well, no, because Salazzle beats you then. I think you just Flame Charge. You just Flame Charge. You get +1 speed, and you outspeed Chienpao, and you should win the game. But he switches, and then Chienpao SDs on the switch. I would love to know if this was a prediction on the switch, or if he was playing on a choke. Because I think if he stayed in... I don't know if Gravy was playing for the choke, or if he just thought that SD was the best play. Or if he made like a prediction or something. I don't know. But I think Muffin should just always stayed in. I think he had a really good chance to win then. Oh yeah, no, because the Flame Charge kills Chienpao. Because it takes a drum beating. No, not if he kills. Not if he kills. Not if he kills. Yeah, no, I think you should just always stayed in with Rillaboom. It prevented SD. But yeah, Ice Axe Toys, which forces Rillaboom. Sneasler comes in and clicks CC. It kills that. But Mew then comes in. And the issue is, I think he double chokes. I don't know that he double chokes. But I think he messed up. I think he shouldn't. Oh, okay, he doesn't choke. This isn't a choke. He goes Typhlosion on Mew. It's down to Mew Chi-Impao with just Typhlosion left because Mew's able to kill Sneasler with Psychic. It gets really low, but it's not low enough to kill with a Flame Charge, and it actually reveals to be Mirror Herb. So you actually can't Flame Charge because he's going to get +1 as well. And if he gets +1, then he's going to hit you twice and you'll die to Ice Shark. You actually can't Flame Charge. So I think you should just stayed regular. The worst thing he can do is Earth Power. But A, he doesn't go for Earth Power. B, Earth Power still doesn't put you in range of a Crunch if you Terra. So he still has to predict you. So yeah, at that point, you should just stay regular, but he Terra Fairs immediately. He lives Psychic, but it still puts him in range of Crash. I think Muffins really messed this in-game up. Like, really bad, actually. I spelled Chien wrong, but I think he really messed it up. He doesn't make any aggressive plays. He just kind of makes very passive plays. Once he brings it back, he just plays very passively. Because also, like, you're forcing Chi-Impao out. If you SD on the Chi-Impao switch from Sneasler, because once you get the Grassy Drain, you're faster. If you had SD there, you also won. You lost, like, every single positional, like, chance you had. You had a 50-50 with Rillaboom on Chi-Impao. You had a 50-50 with Chi-Impao on Sneasler. And then you had a 50-50, kinda. Or you would have had a 50-50 had you not Terrored with Typhlosion. You had multiple 50-50s, you just kind of lost every single one of them. And that ended up costing you. Alright. Hello. So I know time didn't change for you, but it's literally been like, what? I stopped at like 6. It's 3, so 6, 9. It's been literally 9 hours. But obviously time didn't change for you, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, but hold on. Yeah, now we got a Spider. Yeah, we got Spider versus Sableye. Spider is moved down to number 5 now after losing to Sableye. He's on a pretty high streak, beat Arc, beat Soul Blaze, and the match before he won also. Maybe not. Yeah, the last 4, he's just 2-1, 3-1. I think that's right. He's 3-1 in his last. I don't know. But yeah, I liked Spider's team. It was Covert Cloak, Spectrier. It was specifically so Jirachi could not flinch him down. I like that. Tinglu was banded. There's Rabombi, Serena are your ground resist, and Rabombi's not a ground resist. So it's just Serena as the ground resist. And Serena's not, I mean, it's good here, but it also is forced to check Quack. So it's like, also it might be like an Assault Vest variant, which ended up being an Assault Vest variant, I think. Because Shadow Ball did a shit ton. It did a shit ton, but like it did nothing, is what I meant. I meant to say nothing. It did nothing. At +1, it did like 60%, which I'm assuming is Assault Vest. So yeah. The Quack was Boots. There's 4 attacks. Wigglytuff was just Wish, alluring voice shenanigans. Regirock, Fizdef. Arcanine was actually Life Orb. I've noticed that Arcanine, or Spider, does not run Boots on his Arcanine basically ever. I think he's ran like twice when he's brought it. So that's an interesting note. I mean, here it's like, you don't really need it. Probably. There's 2 Rockers, one of them's a Colossal. So like, there's a Spiker. And Overcoat's pretty like good here, so he could probably get Spikes up, but Spikes are the biggest concern. And you're not taking a recoil, so it's just Life Orb. So I don't mind it. But yeah, lead preview. It's I forgot what Spider led. I think he just led. He might have just led Ting Lu. I don't actually remember. But either way, Ursa Ring leads. I believe it was. Yeah, it was definitely Ting, I think, because I think it clicked Ice Punch as you went Regigigas, and Regigigas is able to like protect stall out this Ursaluna. It gets a substitute up, but that actually works out for Spider because it forces significantly more damage into the Ursaluna. While if it was just spamming Facade, it would have just been better. Like, yeah, but he's able to 1v1 the Ursaluna with Regigigas if it gets down to like 30-35%, and it forces out into Chandelure. And the Chandelure takes a knock from the Regigigas. And it reveals blunder policy on the Shandy. So that's big. Uh, and so then the Chandelure is able to it wisps as he knocks. And then I think then he just sacks Regigigas. I don't actually remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens. And then he goes Spectrier, and Spectrier at this point, his normal type is down to 30%, and there's not really another switch. So he just sacks off Chandelure to get in Serena to click knockoff. Serena takes like 60% and is able to get a knock, but Cobra Cloak doesn't matter and he doesn't kill. It does like 70, 60. I don't remember exactly how much knock did. But the Spectrier just clicks Shadow Ball again as Ursa comes in and stacked. So Spectrier, and then Haxorus comes in and reveals to be Scarf. So now the Spectrier was able to kill 2 Pokemon, weaken Serena significantly, and reveal this Scarf Haxorus. Amazing. So Spider early on is significantly ahead. So Ting Lu comes in on the Scarf Hacks and just clicks Banded Earthquake. Serena's sitting at like 35% now, so you can just click it freely and it kills. So now you're up, what, 5-3? There's just Valiant, Glacier, and Haxorus left. So then Glacier tries to come in to revenge Ting Lu. He makes a good play, hard into Quaquaval, and then he makes a flip turn play as it Terras back into its Terra Electrics. So he goes hard Ting Lu on the Terra Electric, Terra Blast, and then clicks Banded Earthquake and kills it. So now you're up 5-2. And there's just a Iron Valley and a Haxorus. So, needless to say, he fucking loses. Valiant comes in, it just clicks Swords Dance as it clicks Banded Earthquake. The Banded Earthquake does like 80, 90%. I think it does like 90%. I think it's like 88. I think it does 88. But either way, it does 90%. And gets it down really low. It puts an E-Speed at range easily. As the Valiant reveals Swords Dance. And so Spider assumes that it's close combat, so it's not really that big of a problem. So he goes Quaquaval and it reveals Drain Punch, which is awful because now it's really healthy and it does not die to E-Speed from Arcanine. And there's nothing that can beat this at this point, assuming it has Spectrier coverage. Which, I think Spectrier was dead. I don't know how Spectrier died, but I'm pretty sure it was dead. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Spectrier died. No, Spectrier did die. It died to Scarf Access, I forgot. So yeah, at this point he can literally just Drain Punch everything. Yeah, like there's nothing he can do. Spider. If your Drain Punch gets all HP back, he can't beat it. So, Spider didn't drop very far because I think he played the early game very, very well. And I just think SD Drain Punch Val had a really good matchup. If Ting Lu lived, then I think he probably choked. If Ting Lu died to +2, which I didn't see in the match, so I don't actually know if it died to +2, I guess I can calc it. But I don't know spreads, so I can't really calc it. But yeah, if Ting lived, he should have just stayed in. If it died, I don't think he could win. It's just kind of as simple as that. If it, I'm pretty sure it lived because Ting was a bulky son of a bitch. But I don't know how much HP investment he was. I don't remember. And I'm assuming he was max attack. But I could probably figure it out if he lived or not. It's kind of important. But if he lived, he choked. He should have just stayed in. If he died, he had no chance. I'm pretty sure he lived, so I think he choked. But he just didn't expect the set. Next is Gravy. Gravy bounces back with a win against Muffins, who big win because Muffins, Gravy was sitting at 3-3. Muffins was 4-2. Like, he's a win ahead. He needs a win. So Gravy brought. I didn't even talk about what Spider brought. No, I did. I don't know all of Gravy's sets. This is actually wrong. Duraludon did not come, and it was Salazzle, and I didn't change his. So yeah, no, there's no Terrapagos and there's no Duraludon. There is Salazzle and there's Mew. That's what actually came. He did not bring Duraludon Terrapagos. I forgot to change this one, I guess. Yeah, Gravy brought. It was just SD, Chiempao. Lando was banded, I believe. Did Prim come? It did, right? Maybe it didn't. It actually is ass here. Maybe he brought Terrapagos. No, he brought Terrapagos, not Primarina. Sorry. The Terrapagos was just Rock Polish. Yeah, Terrapagos was just Rock Polish. Mew was Mirror Herb. And the Salazzle, I don't have any clue. It's not Boots, that's all I know. An Iron Hands was, I think, Assault Vest, but I don't think it ever showed that. I just kind of assumed it was Assault Vest. But I don't actually know his item. It could have been like Resto Chesto or something. Again, it didn't reveal its item, so. But yeah, he's able to go up early. He kills the Archaludon with the combo of Landorus plus Mew. Landorus plus Mew is able to kill the Arch. And then he's also able to kill Screamtail because Iron Hands just wild charged into Heavy Slams. So he's up 6-4. But Lando is weakened. Ronks are up. Iron Hands is weakened. Mew's taking a little bit of chip. So it's not like an amazing position. It's a fine position, but it's not an amazing situation. Rillaboom's able to come in, and the game is flipped very quickly. It turns to 3-4, like basically immediately. Rillaboom just keeps coming in and clicking baited grass moves, and there's not really a switch. He clicks Woodhammer on the Iron Hands, but he sacks and Gravy sacks Landorus. He just clicks Grassy Glide to kill the Terrapagos, and that was the last sack. I think Iron Hands, he ended up just clicking Drum Beating to kill. So with 3 different grass moves, he gets 3 different kills. But the situation we're in now is Gravy is down 3-4. And Rillaboom is banded, and it's locked into Drum Beating with no terrain, though. Terrain is out. And Gravy brings in Chiempao and makes the very ballsy play to click Swords Dance as the Blastoise is sacked, which means Blastoise has to be sacked, and then forces Rillaboom to also be sacked because it has Ice Shard, so it goes more it's higher than Grassy Glide. So now it's just Sneasler and Hisuian Typhlosion. Both are 100%, have not even came out at this point, but Sneasler comes in to be able to revenge the Chiempao, but Gravy switches and just Salazzle just sack it off, and he doesn't Swords Dance, thankfully, because if he's SD'd, he would have won immediately. But he didn't SD, so he sacks Salazzle. Mew comes in, clicks Psychic to kill, and then Typhlosion comes in, but immediately Terras. So now there's no 50-50 with Chiempao, and it can just click Icicle Crash. And Gravy's able to win. So I don't think Gravy made like basically any mistakes this game. I think Muffins made a few mistakes. He got basically every 50-50. Gravy got every 50-50 right. But then again, like, turns with, like, Rillaboom in with Drum Beating, he should have just clicked Drum Beating, because I think he had a 100% chance to win at that point if he stayed in. SD makes it really problematic, but I also understand switching, because if he doesn't Swords Dance, you're in an amazing position. So it's like, hindsight's 20/20, but I just think Drum Beating was staying in with Drum Beating was just better. Because if you click Swords Dance, then he's -1 speed, and Typhlosion's faster. So, Again, hindsight 2020, I just think there was a better play. And Real Boom could just click Grassy Glide because at that point it's faster. Because I think they're just plus one. They're both just plus one priority, and Real Boom will be faster at this point. So again, hindsight's 2020. I just think he had a better play. But Gravy, he got the 50-50 right with Chien Pao. He got the 50-50 right on the Switch with Chien Pao on Sneasler. And then he got the last potential 50-50, which just Psychic the Typhlosion, put in range of Crash. That was not a 50-50, but it should have been a 50-50. He shouldn't have terrored. But yeah, Gravy didn't necessarily play the most perfect game, but he definitely played well enough to win, and he definitely played fine. There's not really any luck this game either, so. But again, I don't think Gravy played perfect, but I think he didn't make any mistakes. But I think Muffins did. Sceptile is next. He moves up 2 spots after beating my Lord Chris. So Sceptile also didn't play the most perfect early game. Honestly, he probably played a pretty bad early game. Probably worse than probably worse than Gravy. But Gravy was number 8, while Sceptile was number 5. So I'm not gonna move him above. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, he plays my Lord Chris. He brings Lumchomp, Boots, Torn with Taunt, Alo's Rocky Helmet, Low Kicks is just Boots 4 attacks. Electros is leftovers. Sub. Oh, you know what you could do? You could sub. Maybe that was his game plan. It was Sub Coil with Stomping Tantrum, and Supercell Slam. Pretty cool, because it 1v1's Claude. And then Tinkaton with Citrus should be your Darkrai answer. So I think that Sceptile kind of got really outplayed early. He was literally down 3-6. He loses momentum early because Tinkaton gets sacked to Probopass. Because he forgets about Magnet Pull, and to be fair, I also forgot about Magnet Pull. So yeah, he forgets about Magnet Pull, so Tinkaton gets sacked, and that's your only Darkrai answer. There's not another Darkrai answer defensively. It very much clicks Dark Pulse and just kills everything. Garchomp is Lum, but he's never going it on Rotom for some reason. He went Garchomp one time on Rotom, and that was after Torn took a burn. So all that Garchomp took was a pain split. He keeps allowing Rotom to Volt Switch on Tornadus, and that's allowing Darkrai to just come in and get kills every time. He clicks Dark Pulse and then is able to 2-hit KO Electros, and then he gets in again and is able to Ice Beam and kill the Tornadus. So he keeps allowing Rotom just Volt Switch on him and allows Darkrai to keep getting kills. And at this point, he should not ever win. Obviously, he's down 3-6, and Low Kicks is still very good. Probopass is weakened. So all he's done, progress-wise, is Darkrai is down to 60-ish%. The Urshifu hasn't came in. Deoxys hasn't came in. Probopass down to 50. Cinccino's taken nothing. Cinccino hasn't came in either. And Rotom's came in. And I think it's sitting at 70 with not. I think it's at 60 and has been knocked. So he's done he's made almost no progress. And there's still an offensive Urshifu and an offensive Deoxys to deal with, while also having to offensively beat Darkrai, while also having to offensively beat Cinccino. There should be no way to win at this point. But Chris starts giving him Pokemon. Low Kicks comes in to revenge the Darkrai, and he sacks Probopass. That's the right play. But then instead of going Darkrai just to click Dark Pulse, instead of going Urshifu, which could not die to anything, which is what you should have gone, he goes Cinccino, which just clicks U-turn as the Low Kick stays in. He did expect Alomomola, but Sceptile just figured that he can afford to switch, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really know why Sceptile didn't go Alomomola, to be fair. I also expected Alomomola because it makes no sense to stay in. But it worked. he U-turns, and that forces a Rotom sack. So now it's 3-4, and even now, he still should not be able to win. But at this point, he goes Urshifu on the low kicks and subs as the Alomomola comes in. But it has a lowering voice, so it's able to 1v1, and the Alomomola ends up getting the confusion, and the Urshifu hits himself to kill himself. He kills himself with that confusion, and the Alo is sitting at 100%. So Urshifu was completely wasted, and at this point it's 3-3, and low kicks kills the last three. So yeah, that's it. Low kicks just kills the last three. Sceptile was able to claw this shit back because his opponent completely choked. You just don't choke a 3-6 lead when you have an amazing position. I mean, it's really just as simple as that. I feel like most people would not choke this. Yeah, I don't know. I think he really messed up multiple times. Chris did, and I think Sep also like played a pretty poor early game. Like just allowing the free Rotom turns and letting Darkrai just keep getting kills made no fucking sense. Like, why do you keep allowing Darkrai to do this? But ultimately, he was able to claw it back. He was still able to win, and the only one he's above is Gravy, but that's because Gravy was ranked 8, and I'm not gonna move him all the way up to 3 for winning. I mean, he played a very good game, but he was still number 8, and he was number 8 for a reason after losing 3 straight. Like, and he can't be above Spider. Spider fucking lost, so. Or Spider can't be above him because he lost. So, Sceptile kind of got moved up here by default, but I don't think he should have really. Like, Gravy, I think, played significantly better than him this game. But Gravy was rank 8. So you're not going to move up all the way this high just for winning a game after you're losing 3 straight, you know? Next, we get Will. Will really didn't have to do anything too much. Like, he, led... It was, the Urshifu was just Scarf, I believe. Bundle was Specs, Ogre Punch just Ogre Punch, Scizor was just Spadef U-turn, Dragonite was Banded, and Comfey was Terra Fire, Terra Blast, Life Orb. He leads, and the opponent brought Excadrill, Infernape, Rotom, Wochin, Mandibuzz, Hippowdon. So, lead, the Urshifu looks pretty good. CC is pretty free into everything, but there's obviously a Hippo there, which makes it moderately frustrating. But if you're able to kill Hippo, well, like, the thing with Hippo is if you U-turn on Hippo, you get Specs Bundling, which is completely free here. Bundle kills everything, and Bundle will always kill everything. Especially when he's able to actually kill the Rotom turn 2. Or no, just literally just turn 1. No, it's turn 2. Because Will leads Bundle into Infernape and he switches out, scared of Scarf, and goes hard Dragonite. And he takes a Vacuum Wave, which is fine. And then Infernape U-turns hard into Rotom. And so Rotom dies. And that was a Scarf Rotom. Which obviously Will doesn't know that, but it's amazing. Because now Ice Beam's free, Pump is more free. No, it's just Pump's free if Wochin Terra's. Otherwise, Ice Beam's completely free. So yeah, he's able to kill the Rotom. And then Ogerpon is able to take damage into Wochin. It gets like 2 Ivy Cudgels off. One of them crits, but it doesn't too much matter. So yeah, Wochin gets weakened, puts it in bundle range, and the last answer is Kilowattrel with Scarf. And at that point, that was the last answer to bundle, and the opponent allows Kilowattrel to get knocked by Scizor, and then just Specs Bundle clicks Ice Beam 3 times. It clicks just Ice Beam 3 times, and it kills everything. Soul Blaze played a pretty shitty game. But, yeah, I mean, that's just it. Soul Blaze played a pretty shitty game. Will's right there, but unfortunately our number 1 is still Lars. Lars, he's hot. He's lost 1 game all season. That was to Shadow Stitch, I believe. I don't actually remember for sure. That could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't Shadow Stitch. I don't remember. But yeah, Lars has lost one game all season. He's played some like good opponents. He's played Muffins. He's played Volume. Volume's better than his record. Muffins is he was 4-0 at a point. So, I mean, these guys are threats. But this week he got kind of a break. He played Ark, who's number 16 in PRs and is number 16 in standings. So naturally, you're going to assume it's an easier one, especially because he's 1-5 and you're 5-1 going into the match. And yeah, he's able to comfortably win. Ark kind of just memes. It was though Lars brought some good sets too. Like Lars tried because he still needed to win. Like if he loses out at 5-1 and goes 5-4, he can actually still miss playoffs. So that's it. Um, Gouging Fire was banded. Meowscarada was I have no clue. I don't remember. Uh, Wake was. Did Lars put up his side? I don't know if Lars put up his side. No, he did. He did. Yeah, I saw it. Wake was because Wake was sub Roar. I remember he did put up his side. Sorry. Torkoal was just Torkoal shenanigans. Arbok, I believe, came. I'm pretty sure it came. I think it was just Assault Vest. I think. And then Roto came. It was Terra. Go Scarf. Oh no, the Meowscarada was Leaf Storm, like Overgrow, Flower Trick shenanigans. I remember. I think it was just boots. I don't remember the item though. Um. So yeah, Ark kind of just memed out the Ark brought Raging Bolt exec.